He was never the loudest, never the flashiest, and yet, when the pressure was highest, the stakes at their peak was the one making the play. Not LeBron, not Wade, Chris Bosh, a quiet assassin with the heart of a warrior and the mind of a scientist. A player who gave up the spotlight for something bigger, and for it, he was often forgotten, dismissed, labeled a third wheel. But what if we told you that behind that soft-spoken exterior was one of the most revolutionary big men the NBA has ever seen? This is the real story of how good Chris Bosh actually was and why he might be one of the most underrated stars in basketball. History: Chris Bosh was never supposed to be a basketball legend. Growing up in a modest home in Hutchins, Texas, he didn't wear designer clothes or dream of highlight reels. He shared a bed with his younger brother until he was 6. His family hovered around the poverty line. But there was something in Chris that couldn't be taught, a hunger to work, to learn, to push. He didn't just love basketball, he studied it, obsessed over it, mimicked every move he saw. If someone said a great player slept with the ball, Chris tried it. If they ate a certain way, so did he. While others played for fun, he played for a future. He was tall early, already 6 feet by 8th grade, but height wasn't what made him. Dangerous, it was his versatility. Bosh could run, dribble, shoot, block, and defend, skills rarely seen in big men at the time, and yet he was never the guy on his youth teams. In high school, he wasn't even the first option. Still, something was building, quietly, patiently. Unlike most top recruits, colleges didn't discover Bosh for his dunks. They found him through his academic excellence. He was a member of the National Honor Society. He was a straight-A student. He was interested in computer graphics and science. Georgia Tech didn't just see a 6'10" athlete. They saw a thinker, a leader, someone built for more. When Bosh finally exploded on the court during his junior year of high school, it wasn't just talent, it was intelligence, preparation, and selflessness. He wasn't obsessed with scoring 30 a night. He was focused on defense, rebounding, running the floor, and making his teammates better. His senior year, a perfect 40-0 season, a state title over future NBA center Kendrick Perkins, and national recognition as one of the top players in the country. At Georgia Tech, he didn't wait his turn. As a freshman, he led the team in points, rebounds, blocks, and field goal percentage. He was the most efficient big in the entire ACC and ranked top 3 in the country in three-point shooting. Yes, as a freshman power forward, he was supposed to stay for years, but the NBA couldn't ignore him any longer. In 2003, he entered what is now considered the greatest draft class of all time. LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Dwyane Wade, and Chris Bosh. The Raptors took him 4th overall, a decision that would slowly begin to change the future of the center position. Toronto was no paradise. Vince Carter was fading, the team was in disarray, and Bosh was being forced to play center despite his slim 235-pound frame. He was battling monsters, Shaq, Yao Ming, Ben Wallace, but he didn't back down. He fought, he adjusted, and in a short time, he thrived. By his 3rd season, Bosh was averaging over 22 points and 9 rebounds per game and was named an all-star. When Vince Carter left, the franchise became Bosh's. He wasn't flashy like Kobe or as vocal as KG, but he delivered consistently. From 2006 to 2010, Chris Bosh was quietly one of the most dominant big men in basketball. Averages of 24 and 10 became normal. He had range, footwork, quickness, IQ. He didn't just shoot mid-range jumpers. He hit threes, attacked off the dribble, passed out of doubles, and anchored defenses. He had 40-point nights, game winners, but it wasn't enough. Toronto couldn't build a winner around him. And just like that, his next chapter began. When Bosh joined LeBron James and Dwyane Wade in Miami, people expected fireworks. Instead, what they saw was sacrifice. Bosh, who had been a first option his whole career, became the third. Not because he had to, but because he chose to. He changed his game entirely, spacing the floor, defending quicker wings, setting brutal screens, and hitting clutch shots when it mattered most. And yes, his most famous moment wasn't a dunk or a buzzer beater. It was a rebound. In Game 6 of the 2013 NBA Finals, down 3 with seconds left, LeBron missed a desperation 3. The Spurs were inches away from the title, but Bosh snagged the rebound, kicked it out to Ray Allen, and the rest is history. Without Bosh, there's no Ray Allen shot, no Game 7, no championship, and yet, after all that, people called him a glorified role player, a passenger, a third wheel. They forgot that in the biggest moments, Chris Bosh was always there. That behind the scenes, he was doing the dirty work, reinventing the game for big men, sacrificing stats for wins, and still putting up numbers. In Miami, Bosh made 6 straight All-Star teams. He hit game winners, played through injuries, protected the rim, spaced the floor. And when LeBron left in 2014, Bosh was ready to carry the load again. He was averaging over 21 points per game until blood clots cut his career short. In 13 seasons, Bosh made 11 All-Star teams. Only 28 players in NBA history have more. He won 2 championships, changed how bigs played, and walked away from the game with grace, even though it nearly broke him. He didn't get the farewell tour, no long goodbye, just silence. But real hoop fans know the truth. Chris Bosh was never just a role player. He was a pioneer.